You got a great look at this neighborhood, but I don't think you should be on.
It can soon become.
As Tess Marshall makes her way to a rental home in the poor Brightmoor section of Detroit for a job interview, she discovers that Keith Toshko, who claims to have rented the same home, is already living there. Keith invites Tess to stay with him despite the fact that it is dark, pouring, and there are no open rooms in nearby hotels as a result of a convention, reasoning that they can work things out in the morning because the house was unintentionally double-booked. The two boarders gradually find common ground regarding their occupations and take an interest in one another after getting past their initial apprehension that Keith might be lying or harboring bad intentions. Tess is awakened by noises in the night and discovers her bedroom door open. Keith is awakened by Tess, who only responds with astonishment at Tess's worries about noises and the open door. The following morning when Tess awakens, Keith has already left for the day. Tess notices the neighborhood's abundance of abandoned homes once she steps outside in the daytime. Tess later interviews a woman who agrees that she shouldn't be staying at Brightmoor. When Tess gets back to the house, a homeless man named Andre appears to be chasing her while warning her. Tess phones the police quickly from inside, but no officers come. Tess is going for replacement toilet paper when she unintentionally locks herself in the basement. Tess finds a corridor in the cellar that goes to a chamber with a filthy mattress, a bucket, a camera, and a handprint on the wall. This passageway is hidden behind a secret door. Tess is rescued from the basement when Keith comes to the house. Tess insists they must go right once after describing the unsettling dungeon room she found. Although Tess begs him not to, Keith insists on viewing the room for himself before he is ready to do so. When Keith doesn't show up as expected, Tess re-explores the hallway and finds another door that leads to a stairway. Tess enters a cavern beneath the ground and ultimately comes across Keith pleading for assistance. Soon after, Keith informs Tess that there is another person below. Keith is brutally murdered by the mother, a ferocious woman. Disgraced actor A.J. Gilbride returns to his hometown of Detroit to liquidate properties he owns, including the property where Tess and Keith were staying, in order to avoid incurring significant legal costs as a result of an unexpected sexual assault claim. A.J. eventually explores the secret below area and has a terrifying run-in with Mother. Tess advises A.J. to keep quiet so he doesn't irritate Mother before Mother locks A.J. up with her. Mother forces them both to drink from a baby bottle by forcing it through a grating. Mother wants to treat them like her babies, Tess explains to A.J. Tess seizes the chance to flee as A.J. is taken away by Mother to be forcibly breastfed. Andre assists Tess in being dragged outside via a basement window. Tess is adamant about returning to save A.J., but Andre cautions them to leave before dusk because Mother isn't the worst thing inside the house. Running to a gas station, Tess makes a police call. When Tess takes two cops back to the residence to explain what happened, they reject Tess as a ranting drug user and leave without conducting any further investigation. As A.J. searches the basement for a way out, he comes across a room occupied by the former owner of the property, a sick elderly man named Frank. A flashback to the 1980s reveals Frank was a prolific serial killer who held and tortured kidnapped women in the house's hidden chamber. Frank was initially believed to be one of Mother's prisoners, but A.J. assures that soon the area would be overrun by police. When A.J. comes upon a sizable collection of VHS tapes for every one of Frank's victims, he realizes that Frank is a vicious killer. Frank gets a revolver off a nightstand with the last of his power and shoots himself. Tess leaves the house and heads back to her car. Mother abruptly comes through the front door and rushes toward Tess's vehicle. To push Mother against the house, Tess plows into her. Tess returns to the basement to hunt for A.J. because it appears that Mother is either deceased or incapacitated. A.J. accidentally shoots Tess with Frank's rifle after being startled. They find Mother missing outside, where A.J. apologizes and helps Tess limp. A.J. is led to Andre by Tess. Andre describes how Mother was an intergenerational victim of Frank's continual cycle of impregnation and incest across several decades and was born in captivity 40 years ago. Andre's hiding place is abruptly raided by Mother, who rips him to pieces. To escape Mother, Tess and A.J. scale a tower. Although AJ recognizes he stands a chance of escape if he sacrifices Tess, he nevertheless drops Frank's weapon. Tess is thrown over the tower by AJ, who also yells at Mother to get her baby. Mom follows Tess underwater. Both women fall to the ground on the street. AJ goes back to the ground to see how Tess is doing. Mother violently rips off AJ's head, pokes out his eyeballs, and chokes him. Mother tries to hold Tess while pointing back toward the house. Mother is shot in the head by Tess after she finds the discarded firearm. Tess stands up and starts to walk with a limp.